There's a well-known phrase amongst historians that God cannot alter the past, but historians can. So historians are in the position where they can manipulate the sources, the evidence, to frame the narrative any way they want. And so I feel as a historian, very, very responsible for presenting an honest version of the past, whatever that honest version might be. I think it's very important with legacies that are contentious, such as Columbus and the slave trade and slavery, that the population are aware of them, that they don't just come to Bristol and see the red, white and blue lines as they drive down and talk about 4th of July. They need to know very openly about Bristol's role. If historians aren't given a fair view of the past, then who's going to do that? That's our job. That's what the Middle Passage and Port Marcus is all about. It's to commemorate slaves being directly brought into a port, right? The debate that we are having right now is how many markers should we have? Should we have one in all of the 4 ports, right? Bristol, Warren, Newport and Providence, or should we just have one marker and have that in Providence? So that's a debate that's ongoing at the moment with the committee. Last year Boston had a fabulous Middle Passage and Port Marcus ceremony, and they're moving to have their marker installed right now, I think, as we speak. And that was an inspirational event that really got me on board with the idea that Rhode Island, which is at the heart of the slave trade, has a commemorative marker. I took a group of students to the initial meeting in Providence just a few weeks ago, and I'm now on that committee. So the first initial meeting in Providence at Brown, I would say everyone who was there was on board with this. That's certainly not going to be the case as we bring the meetings to the local towns. I envision that Bristol, speaking from past experience, is going to find this very, very uncomfortable. We did see a little bit of that when we had the meeting in Providence. A group of people from Bristol did speak quite vocally about their concerns about this, that Bristol's already kind of acknowledged its role. There's already a marker down in Bristol, that we don't need to keep hammering this home. They like to talk about this kind of legacy of freedom, right? It seems to me this strange kind of, I don't know, binary almost, that we talk about the history of the longest continually running 4th of July celebration, which is seen to be a celebration of freedom and independence. That's what Bristol likes to be known for, versus the fact that Bristol itself was home to the DeWolf family, who were the most prominent and the wealthiest slave traders in America at a particular moment. So I feel like that history to Bristol is, of course, you want to share the legacy of freedom and the 4th of July versus this dark element. I feel Bristol feels that it's been hammered in the past with the DeWolf legacy, and I feel like Warren hasn't had that, so maybe Warren will be more open. I don't know. Providence, I feel, with Brown University behind it, will push forward. I just feel very strongly that Rhode Island needs to have a Middle Passage ceremony and also a port marker.